Okay, Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect. It's going to be a video, it's going to be a reply on this guy's video. Could you survive a nuclear blast? Just something was, just came to me as I was watching Apostle Gabar's video, his video about having spiritual insight, having vision. He brought out Revelations 14 and 9, and that just had me thinking, the fear of the Lord, man. And the fear of the Lord is, hey, you don't want to stay here in that nuclear blast, man. Because we know that nuclear missiles are hitting this place, and we also know that the elect are going to be saved out of it. But what happens to those that are not of the elect? They're going to receive the plagues. All right, the nuclear missiles, man. All right. That's and he was saying how, if you're not in the immediate range, or if you're not in the range of the nuclear missile attack, all right, you're gonna die eventually from the nuclear radiation, man. Like what happened in Nagasaki. And that was just a small atomic bomb. So how much more the hydrogen bombs they have nowadays, man? So this is a site I have found. I just want to look up how hot is a nuclear explosion. So it says the temperature at the center of a nuclear explosion depends on the yield of the weapon, or whether the weapon is an atom bomb, which relies on nuclear fusion to detonate, or a hydrogen bomb, which uses both fusion and fission. And that's what Esau is going to use in his Third World War. So it says those are all factors that play a role in the temperature at the center of a nuke. But the temperature at the core of the explosion is always between 50 and 150 million degrees Fahrenheit. Any person around the point of which the bomb was detonated would literally be instantly vaporized to nothing. It's also odd because you either vaporize to nothing, or in some cases get petrified. And that's the scriptures all the way, man. This is Zechariah chapter 14 verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that fought against Jerusalem. All right, you so-called Jerusalem would be you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, which are the Israelites. Coming from the tribe of Judah, Manasseh, Ephraim, Simeon, Naphtali, Asher, the 12 tribes of Israel, written of in the scriptures. All right, so the Most High is going to smite this place for what Esau has done to you, man. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. And this also proves that the Most High is a separatist. He's a racist. All right. So it says their flesh, talking about these other nations that came up against our people, and 2/3 of our people, because they're Gentiles now, which means them being Gentiles, not that they're actually Gentiles, but they're thinking as these other nations, man. Celebrating their downfall, celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas and all of that. But nevertheless, these nations are going to get a foot put in their ass, man. Thus saith the Lord. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. All right, so great judgment is coming to this place, and that's the nuclear missiles. Your tongue consuming away in your mouth. All right, and your flesh consuming away. That's vaporization, man. All right, about 150 million degrees Fahrenheit, man. Now people complain about 90 degrees or 100 degrees. I imagine 150 million degrees, man. All right, so it says any person around that point or which the bomb was detonated will literally be instantly vaporized to nothing. It also it's also odd because you either vaporize to nothing or in some cases get petrified. Alright, so you see what the Lord means when he says he's not going to leave neither stem nor root, man. But he's going to destroy this place with a great destruction, man. You know, let me see if I can find that. I think it's in Isaiah 14, maybe. I can't remember exactly what it was, man, but the Most High said he's not going to leave neither stem nor root in this place, man, via the nuclear missiles. Alright, so back at the article, it says, any person, I read that part, it says, that's why sometimes the temperature of a nuclear weapon is referred to as the black body temperature, because there were cases in which people's bodies were turned black like charcoal and hard as rock. You know, so the Most High got a sense of humor, man. You know, here it is, they hate so-called blacks, but the Most High about to turn your ass black, man. Which we're not black, we're different colors of brown. Alright, but the Most High about to turn your ass black, man. And then vaporize your ass. You know? Sarah Connor style, man. We always go into that, let me see. When you Sarah Connor's dream, man. This is going to be most of you people, man. Those that are not of the elect. Those that are not chosen to be saved out of this. You know? I found another good one. I'm trying to find it. Let me see. Damn. You know? That's going to be you people, man. Just the skin, just disintegrated, man. Vaporized. That's beautiful. Let's go back to that article. It says, so the temperature of the center of a nuclear bomb can reach temperatures hotter than the core of the sun. The sun reaches nuclear fusion through gravity and so burns at a mere 15 million degrees Fahrenheit. On the other hand, a thermonuclear bomb, once detonated, can only have a significant reaction rate only if it has far higher temperature, as much as 10 times higher than the sun, because it has to occur where the air pressure is very low. Alright, and the temperature is going to be very high. Why? Because when the nuclear bombs hit, alright, you're going to have volcanoes erupting, which is going to make the temperature hotter, the air hotter. Alright, you got electrical lines, you have nuke plants. Alright, you got gas lines. Alright. So, hey, man, this place is going to be destroyed, man, via thermonuclear missiles. You know? As well as the chariots, which are also the vehicles of the Heavenly Father. Alright, this is Revelation chapter 9. I'm going to start at verse 15. And the 4 angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. You know? And that's beautiful, man. I just thought about it. The Spirit of the Lord had put on me to do a video about, you know, the so-called UFOs, which are chariots of the Heavenly Father. Now, to some, alright, they're a blessing, man. They're going to save them from this coming destruction. But to most, alright, 2/3 of Jerusalem, as well as you other nations and Esau, Edom, the Most High is going to destroy you, man. So it says, and the 4 angels were loose, alright, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, which means it's going to be a certain time prepared for Esau to be destroyed. You know, because Esau, as the scriptures say, he has it in his mind that his house shall continue forever. And wickedness, all right? That's why you got these movies going into 2030 and all that. 2050. But nah, man, the Most High has appointed a day for Esau to go down. For the slated third part of men. Now, who's the third part of men? All right, because you had the sons of God. All right, then you have the sons of men. And then you have the sons of the wicked, man. All right, the sons of God are the Israelites. The sons of men, all right, are these other nations. All right, the so-called Chinese, so-called Japanese, so-called East Indians, so-called Arabs, so on and so forth. And you have the sons of the wicked, which is Esau, Edom. All right, so it says, in the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. All right, because there's going to be, so that means, because when it talks about the horsemen in the scriptures, a lot of times the horsemen is synonymous with chariots. I mean, no, Salakia, I said chariots, I mean nuclear missiles. And it says they were 200,000, all right, which is 200 and 6 zeros after that, so that's 200 million missiles. And I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. So obviously this is talking about a metaphor, because actual horses, they don't spit fire. It's talking about ICBM nuclear missiles. By these was the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. For their power, all right, so by these other nations, like I was saying before, are going to be put down, man. Those that came up against the apple of the Most High's eye, hey, the Lord got your number. It says, woe, scriptures say, woe unto the bloody city, man. And Esau has met us, so-called black Hispanics and native Indians, with nothing but blood, man. They're still putting you jigs to death, man. All right? Even more now than ever, man. They talk about make America great again. We know what that means, man. That means that, lynching jakes, and basically doing away with you jakes, man. They even have, the brothers always bring it out, the Georgia Guidestones, where they want to populate the world about 500 million. Hey, the scriptures say Jake is as the sands of the sea. So guess who most who gonna be knocked off is you jakes, man. All right, so it says, by these three was the third part of man killed, by fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. Because what's going to get into it, for their power is in their mouth, and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. So that's what's going to happen, man. With the nuclear missiles, all right, the power is in their mouth, man. The head of the missile breaks off from the body, and that's what causes the damage. This is another one, just going to further go into the horsemen. So this is Joel 2:1. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand. The day of the Most High is coming, man. You see them blood moves, you see eclipses, what's happening now more often than ever. We see that a nuclear war is being spoken of, man. What else is happening? Earthquakes, wildfires, volcanic eruptions. All right, death is becoming more rapid in this place, man. A day of darkness and of gloominess, and a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and strong, that have not been ever the like, neither shall be any after it, even to the years of many generations. Because this is the final war, man. You know, going into Jeremiah 9 and 6. You know, every battle before was of confused noise. You know, and then it goes into, now in this battle is going to be a fire and a brimstone. You know? So it says, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. You know? Great Adventures, Disney World. And behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. So, hey, can you survive a nuclear attack? No, you cannot. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pain, all faces shall gather blackness. And in the article I just read, it goes into, well, if you're not vaporized, but you know, if you're not in range, guess what? You're going to be how you say that word? Putrefied. Basically meaning scared as hell. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march everyone on his ways. They shall not break their ranks. You know, because they're intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. And they're meant to go. Basically, they have GPS on them, man. So wherever they're meant to go, they're going to go. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. You know? Because, hey, even when you try to break up, or try to intercept it, it's going to break apart into miniature missiles, man. They shall climb the wall like Salakia, verse 8. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army. For his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. Babylon the Great must be destroyed. For the day of Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? You know? So no, you cannot. I'm gonna pose that question again, man. As he said, as the video said, can you survive a nuclear attack? No. The only people that's gonna survive those nuclear attacks is the elect. The elect are the ones that's not gonna take the chip. All right, and that leads me to that Revelations 14 and 9. You know, that's why it's so very important that they pour all your eggs into the Lord, man. Like they say, put all your eggs in one basket, put all your trust in the Lord. Revelations 14 and 9, the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and shall receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture, into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. You know what's that mark goes into the word charagma, which is an incision into the skin. So you don't want to get anything that Esau has to give you inserted into your skin, man. Alright? And you take the chip, that's your ass. Okay. I just want to get one more before I close it out. Proverbs 14 and 26. In the fear of Yahweh is strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge. You know? So, hey, we just got to hope and pray that we of the elect, and that we fear him until this bitch is destroyed, man. And it says the fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. Alright? And this world is leading you straight to taking that chip, to being destroyed. Hey, so with that, Lord willing, you I can will edify. Hey, that just puts fear in me, man. You know? Just thinking about, like, you know, you touch a stove, you know, or you just had to work. Sometimes, you know, brothers do construction or whatever, you might have to work outside, you know, in 100-degree weather. You see how hot as hell that is, man. So imagine just being on fire, man. You know? Hey, when you look at 9/11, them people jumped out of, you know, 100-story buildings, man, because they was on fire. You know? Hey, so Lord willing, you I can edify. Shalom to the elect.